Welcome everybody to the Female Esports League ARAM tournament. My name is Everyday. With me is Spoods. How are we today, man?
Pretty tired, but games are gonna be sick if there are any. If 2 weeks ago was anything to go by, so I'm actually pretty excited to see what we have in store for everybody today as well. What about you?
Yeah, I'm the same. I was surprised how much fun it was last time when we casted the ARAMs over on the Singapore server. We are today looking at the Philippines, which is, I mean, it's the same game, so I don't know how much of a huge difference it'll make, but it's cool to get.
We have the volleyball on the
regions
bridge.
going. That's true.
Possibly.
We were talking about this before we went live, is that there may well be the Volibear event, because of course Volibear is angry at the ARAM bridge for some reason. And I believe we have a draft.
His cookies.
I believe we have a draft.
Alright.
Let's go have a look at that. What have we got here? So we do have a little bit of a ghetto setup, just due to VPNs and the like.
That's one way to put it.
We do apologise, but you can see the draft once the settings menu is out of the way. It's no big deal. Can see it. We've got Ziggs, Jax, Riven, Maokai, Nasus against Skarner, Eve, Gnar, Talon, Gangplank. What do we think of these two teams?
I still can barely see them. The advice I've been given is to just rant about ARAM balance if there's an OP champion, but so far I'm not seeing any. I'm curious to see whether or not we're going to see AP Nasus come out, but both these teams looking pretty strong once we get into the team fight. Obviously, you have a few champions on both sides that don't really do that well in an ARAM setting. Obviously, Eve would be one example. Riven is also not that good, I believe, until, the later stages where she gets a little bit more tanky. So overall, I think both teams are pretty balanced, and it'll just come down to who plays it better early. I think that's usually how ARAM games go nowadays.
Yeah, I think aside from maybe a few of the really big OPs, in general, ARAMs are fairly balanced. So, we will have to find out, but we'll be back in just a little bit. We do have to run an ad and that while we wait for the spectator delay. We'll see you guys in not very long at all. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back. We are still just waiting the last bits of the spectator delay. About a minute and a half left on that one. But this is the first game of the day, so worth having a bit of a chat about things we want to see in ARAMs in general, not necessarily these two drafts. I'll start it off.
Absolutely.
Who do you think is the strongest champion in ARAM?
Who do I think is the strongest champion in ARAM?
Yeah.
What was that the question? Well, by win rate is Galio, and I guess you can see why. It has great AoE with the taunt as well as the ultimate. So honestly, I have to agree the win rate here because I think he's actually like 2% higher than the next champion on the list. So it's kind of broken there.
That's completely ridiculous. I
could be wrong. I'll have to check.
I would have thought someone like Sona would have been the highest win.
Sona was the highest for like quite some time at like 66% or some stupid stat like that. But she got nerfed, I think, and now she sort of went down in popularity and priority as well.
I mean, is popularity really a thing in ARAM? Like,
oh wait, I did not mean popular. I meant win rate. I meant win rate. Boy.
Yeah, I don't know if we can talk about priority when you do just get given random champions.
That's fair.
It's all right. We all make mistakes. So we are nearly at the end of the spectator delay. Once we are in, we'll let you know. Go ahead, sorry.
All right. One interesting thing, as compared to the Singapore ARAMs that we saw a couple of weeks ago, is that no AD carries this time.
So that's actually very true.
Yeah, no high AD at the late game, so it actually could go either way once we hit late game. There's no sort of insurance policy for both sides here.
Yeah, for sure. It's interesting because we've kind of got the two late game. Well, if it was Summoner's Rift, the late game Nasus and Gangplank, kind of
Right.
interesting to see how that translates into the ARAM setting. Should be getting into game momentarily. Just waiting for our feed to switch over.
AP Nasus.
I think AP Nasus is legit. You can't dodge that circle. How do you dodge the circle on Howling Abyss?
I'm not memeing. I think AP Nasus on ARAM is actually pretty viable. You're not going to play it in Summoner's Rift, so we might as well play it here.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, right?
Makes complete sense to me. I'm sorry, I just need to fix an output. Because again, sorry, we had to adjust how we were going to do the stream at the last minute. So
a couple of weeks ago, we didn't even get to watch the first game, so I guess this is sort of an improvement by
This
now.
is a very big improvement.
Right.
I'll fix one quick thing. So if you want to give us a rundown on what kind of things you're expecting out of these two teams.
Well, I think not even just these two teams, but in ARAM, I expect a lot of team fighting. I think between the Singapore ARAMs and now, I think I've learned quite a bit more that ARAM is actually quite a good team fighting tool, a good practice tool for if you want to learn how to dodge skill shots. So it's not entirely useless as I was sort of believing the last time we were on the Howling Abyss.
Oh, you like this? Sorry, my OBS is being very mean.
Oh.
Not you. You're completely correct. As I'm just still trying to fix the crop. Unfortunately, we have a big black bar on one side that I need to.
It's a throwback to 2008. It's fine.
Yeah, I'm sure that's how that works, right?
Yeah.
I mean, some Counter-Strike pros still play with black bars, which is weird. But we
can't say anything to that.
Yeah. Just yeah. This is a train record. Oh no. Come back. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear.
Right, anyway, we are currently on the bridge. Blue team has not moved from the base. We can't see what items they've bought, actually. If we could get the item bar up, that would be
we're gonna have to deal with the black bars for the first game. I'll fix them up. Yeah, we just need the scoreboard, if we could, Mr. Feedman. Hopefully you're listening. We do need to know what items they had. It's also, we've got this weird colour palette. It's so dark, but we do have the Jacks engaging here. Banana Sucker going straight forward. Does go down to the Talon, though. And now the rest of them are trying to back off. They've got the first blood. Can they get out with their lives? They definitely can. That's just a bit of gold here in the red team's pockets.
Yeah, absolutely. You're a few seconds ahead of me at the moment.
Oh, that's unfortunate. You might need to
the Jacks,
refresh.
Oh, the Jacks die, yeah.
Yeah, just refresh your stream.
Refresh my feed. It's a bootleg setup, but it works. Right. Hopefully that's fixed. Not much to say. The Jax is back. We do have some bush shenanigans just in case. Nah, we have some bush shenanigans with the Maokai saplings and the Gangplank barrels. So bush is definitely something that both teams have to look out for. You can't just blindly wander into those shrubs if you
and the Skarner Spire. That one's pretty important.
Yeah.
The control over that Spire is very important for Skarner. He's much, much stronger, obviously, when he is in his happy circle. They do get control of that right now. Also, just production note: if I do get ahead of you, change your YouTube to ×2 speed. Yeah, figure that out when we do the VCS broadcast, because that's bootleg as hell. Okay. But looking at the game as it's playing out, I think something that's going to be really interesting is the Ziggs. We do see Siren or Siren, however we want to say it, on the Ziggs. Long-range poke that constantly can wear people down is very, very strong.
Yeah, not to mention Ziggs' ability to basically just demolish towers, especially in the late game. Just, chunks the tower for 3/4 of its health. Absolutely insane as my stream goes into buffering mode. God bless.
Oh, no. Well, mine's still okay, so I'll carry us, don't you worry. It is the blue side pushing in in towards the tower, but it's just minion being cleared at the moment. The health relic will get hit. Gangplank deciding not to get that health. They wanted to get a bit of damage. Looking at the runes, Gangplank doesn't have runes. What?
Might actually just be a spectator, but you can see
that's
that all the helps are not there. So
yeah, there we go. We do have a scoreboard. And
hey,
they click X.
oh, they're going in.
Oh, they're not going in yet on my end. Oh god, this is a mess.
Oh man.
This is a total mess. There's the Gangplank ult being used though, and Maokai's thrown themselves forward. Talon goes invisible, doing a lot of damage. This is very, very close now, but oh no, the blue team is taking over absolutely massively here. The Maokai ult has been pressed. Are they going to go under the tower? This is another kill here. No, the Gnar stun is very good, and Nard back into the wall. Narmed playing that one very, very well, but not Lars, has decided it's not over. Goes forward and only gets one before going down, and Rogue only gets sniped by the Gangplank. Oh dear.
And
they're going under tower. They are. Huna goes down. This is the blue team wanting to die after this fight, obviously, as they do pick up some extra kills. Nicole G running back, the triple kill for the Skarner, the easiest triple kill that Scorpion has ever seen.
Alright, well, both teams are sort of on an even playing field now that basically everybody has died. That was a super messy fight from the start. I guess me having to pause every few seconds to catch up to your time did negatively affect my experience watching that as well. But they're going in once again.
They're going in again. They are Kawhi getting taken down instantly. That Talon doing nothing in response to the Jax. The blue team will even it back up in kills, and the gold's pretty much dead even as well. So yeah, we can see the items now, so if there's any comments to be made.
Well, Nessus is in fact going AP, so I'm quite a big fan of that. You can see what's chunking, well, not chunking the Skarner's health by let's call it 25. He'll get stronger later in the game, so it's all good. You were talking about runes a while ago, though. The Ziggs currently with the Dark Harvest just adds on to his ability to snowball into that late game. Just has to keep procking the 50%.
Maokai in some trouble. That is a Dark Harvest stack picked up for not Lars there onto that tree. The Evelyn doing even more damage. Dark Harvest, of course, very good on Evelyn if you can get those stacks going. Not typically what's taken on Summoner's Rift, but it's a very different ball game.
They can just keep procking. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah. Dark Harvest,
at the moment, though.
Can use it.
Right. At the moment, still interested to see how big of an impact this Eve is going to have on the game. Like you said, did pick up Dark Harvest, can be quite the late game monster. Well, mid to late game monster, she sort of falls off late. But then again, this is ARAM. I'm sort of just tripping all over the place right now. But
right.
Yeah, your invisibility now is not gonna be all that useful here on the Howling Abyss. Everybody's basically in mid lane, so you can see that Eve's having a bit of a troublesome time just ensuring that she doesn't walk into visible range.
The one good thing about it, though, of course, is the second half of that passive, which is when she's invisible, she gets insane health regen. Eve is basically always going to be full health if they disengage.
Right.
She heals up very, very quickly while in that demon clone.
Indeed, but your health's not going to be all that useful if you're forced to basically hide further away than your tier 1 tower. You're not going to do much damage. Sure, you're full health, but you're always going to be full health if you're not in the fight.
Very, very true. But still, we got to take our silver linings from Dark Clouds, and those saplings just constantly being lobbed in as the long-range artillery. This is so far looking very difficult for the red team to navigate. There's just so much for them to dodge in the Ziggs and the Maokai. It's not much fun.
Yeah, it's sort of devolved into a bit of a poke situation, right? You have the Ziggs throwing the bombs, Gangplank with the barrels and the saplings, like you said. It's not that fun if you're the Jax and the Riven. You're not having the best time right now.
Yeah, they're not doing much. But then again, neither is the Skarner or the Evelyn. 7 and 4 CS, respectively. Not a super fun time.
You're
it looks
basically
like
just
the
wondering, are they
fight
going in?
will be forced. The flash forward and the ult has been picked up there. Skarner going in hard. Riven very, very low, but it doesn't matter. She gets a kill before she goes down. Ziggs has got one as well. It's a 3v4. I think they want to keep this fight going. At the very least, go for the reset. Rogue only flashing forward to pick up the kill onto the Nasus, but he goes down. Not Lars will get the shield from the barrier. Can he get more? No. And now it's just Kawhi and Siren going back and forth. Can the Talon win this one out? Flashing forward, and he'll get the triple kill. Easy peasy lemon squeezy for the Talon. And it's 9 people dead.
Oh, that was quite an impressive fight. At the start, you could see that the Gnar ultimate coming down was actually quite huge. But the issue with that is that no one was there to follow up because, again, Eve and Skarner, they were way too far behind. I don't know, Eve and Talon, I think, they were way too far behind to have any sort of positive impact on that fight. But they do manage to turn it around with quite a well-coordinated team fight coming in 2v4 by the Eve and the Talon to basically clean up the rest of those kills.
Yeah, absolutely. That was very well played by the 2 assassins here for the red team. Not Lars and Kawhi really showing off as have a bit of a freeze, but we're back. No worries. Happens.
Yeah, I think blue team just basically did not expect that much damage to come through from Talon and Eve this early on in the game.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. Now, checking back in with the items, we do have the magic resist coming in for Skarner. Evelyn does have that first item, Power Spike, as well, doing some damage. Overall, I think this is going to be shaping up to the blue team has pretty much full wave control with an AP Nasus and a Ziggs. But when it comes to the hard engages, if the red team can get in there cleanly, they do have a lot of damage.
Yeah, cleanly is the word. You have to keep an eye on the cooldowns on that Skarner snowball because that has been how they were engaging the last 2 fights, and came out pretty favorably last time. And I think blue team just did not expect that. I mean, he threw it at them. They basically continue walking forward, and you're walking into a fight at that point, and you lost. So.
Absolutely. I think the Skarner ult is a very big cooldown to keep in mind. If they can just get an instant pick and make a fight a 4v5, they'll definitely go for that one. As well as the Mega Gnar, as of course, the Gnar ult is pretty easy to hit on the Howling Abyss. It's not very wide. Hard to miss the walls as they're desperately trying to get this Skarner Spy, but can't quite do it. They do get the stun onto Nasus, pops the Dominus, but they'll go down too easy. The Ziggs Inferno Bomb doing so much damage on the backside. Hushinjo trying to flash away, but they do get found. Rogue only eating those oranges. Now it's Kawhi charging forward. Can she get anything done? She gets one. Banana Sucker's down. Can she find anything more? It's going to look like she's struggling at the moment. And oh no, the red team has been absolutely wiped. 3 members of the blue team still available, and they'll push in this tower. That's a tragedy.
Yeah, they should be able to take this tower right now. That last fight, actually, once again, red team showing that they are very well coordinated when it comes down to the team fights. Unfortunately for them, I think blue team was just a little too far ahead in terms of damage, and they weren't able to put down enough to chunk down those health bars.
Yeah,
Eve, they're doing some work right now.
Eve absolutely doing some work. The triple kill there for Not Lars. Now, of course, it was the intentional overstay by the members of the blue team. They were trying to die and get their items. But giving 3 kills to an Evelyn is not how you want to do that reset.
Yeah, we're starting to approach that mid-game where Eve is as strong as she can be, especially going into it 5, 3, and 7.
Skarner
but I'll
has
hold
been
that.
caught out a little bit, but they're going to turn it around, and who's caught? It wasn't the Skarner at all. It was Nasus that was caught, as she has gone down. It's like the re-engage, Banana Sucker, and the Riven want to get something done. They haven't done much at all this game, and unfortunately that trend will be continuing. The Jax just
I'm not exactly sure what this Nasus is doing. It's pretty unfortunate because you're playing AP Nasus, you don't have to be all that far ahead to do damage with your E, and the unfortunate thing is that she's been the one caught out the past few times, and it's really starting to stack on in a disadvantage for the blue team.
It also looks like they're going for the Triforce second item, which that doesn't make much sense to me.
You're going AP Nasus. Why are you going?
Why
Triforce?
are you going
There's
Triforce?
No
you just go full. AP Nasus is not about the Q.
Go.
Just go AP and make your circle do stupid damage. This is a bit of a weird decision for sure. Out of Nicole.
I've played 4 Rabadon's Nasus, AP Nasus in ARAM before, and I'm pretty sure it works very well unless they nerf it. So Triforce? Question mark. Question mark. Big question mark.
I don't mind the Ludens before
Right.
your 4 caps. Ludens is fine. It's a good early spike.
Yeah.
The Triforce, though, that's a big question mark. But here comes the charge. The engage is in. The Nasus is the one that's been bound up by the Skarner, but it's already going wrong here for the red team. Rogue Only's gone down. They've traded it back with 1, but it's now a 2-for-1. What's going to happen here? Siren should go down and does, but it doesn't matter because the rest of the red team has fallen. Triple kill for the Riven. Looking great. That's quite the name. Yeah. Thanks for considering casters when you made your name.
I have nothing to say to that. All I have to say is, those are the sorts of situations where the Jax and the Riven really do shine, and I think Red Team spent a little too much time trying to whittle down the big health bar on the Nasus. They didn't really pay attention, they didn't really respect the potential for the Jax and the Riven, and they're just going to throw themselves at the wall again.
Yep, they're going in, trying to get these reset kills, and there's a shutdown for the Gnar. Named CL is pretty happy with that one. As they're just trying to chase them down. They want to delay this, I feel. You want to stagger the death timers as much as you can. But
ARAM strats.
Yep, absolutely. But the kills are coming in. Can they find enough to potentially get a tower? I don't think so. I think there's too much wave clear still alive in that Nasus and the Ziggs. Health Relic will be popped, but they lost all the way up to their inhib and haven't taken the first tower. Red team in some trouble.
Yeah, red team. One praise that we've really given them is that they are very good at coordinating in team fights. I think they combo their skills very, very well. But unfortunately, they're just not respecting blue team's ability to output damage, and they're not outputting enough damage themselves. So blue has been doing very well in answering the engages by the Skarner and the Snowball, and along with staggering the deaths and resets, they've been able to get both towers and the inhibitors. So props to blue team for being able to play the ARAM the ARAM mechanics very well.
Yeah, absolutely. They've looked very clean. And I think the big thing is just they have so much AoE when the Jax and the Riven get going. Jax with CC, Riven just with raw damage on top of a Ziggs. It's so difficult for the red team to navigate these fights. They're going in as one, which we like to see, but unfortunately, you can go in as one, but you still need health bars. And at the moment, they don't have health bars after about the first 5 seconds of a fight.
They are fixating too much on the Nasus, I feel.
I agree.
Nasus is not the main damage dealer here. He built Triforce after Ludens. He has no damage. So basically, you have to focus on the main damage dealers in those fights, which is the Riven and the Jax. And the fear now is that they may be too far ahead for a red team to really do anything about both these champions.
Yeah, that's a very, very good point there, is that the Nasus and the Ziggs are very big threats in these holding patterns. When you're playing with the minions, the Nasus and the Ziggs are the main problem because they're poking you. Once the fight starts, though, those two don't really matter. Kill the Riven, kill the Jax, and you can clean up the Nasus and the Ziggs. They'll come after later. If you're using a Skarner roll on the Nasus, I feel like it's just not correct.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the point I want to bring across. We have to keep an eye on who this Skarner impales in the upcoming team fight, because the previous few fights, I think she's been going after the Nasus. Is looking at the Riven right now, but is not going to pull the trigger.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Now we have to see... The blue team is the one that will want to pull the trigger soon, as they could potentially take the game. I don't think they want to let the enemy inhib respawn. They are a little bit worried at the moment.
They have the wave clear. The Skarner is positioning very aggressively, though. So they definitely have to watch where they step, because a flash impale could spell doom for blue team if he decides to go for either the Riven or the Jax.
It's very true. But at the moment, they're doing a pretty good job here with Huna being up in the front on this Maokai. But here we go. The play's been made, and it is Jax that's been impaled, but the Skarner got stunned up, so there was no big pullback. The red team are coming out on top at first, but it's all turning around. They unfortunately could not kill the Riven. There was a lot of damage dealt there, and I think we may well see the blue team activating that death march coming in. Ziggs going for the poke. Can they finish anything off? Need to wait for some
Oh.
minions here. Ooh, not Lars, getting caught by the Twisted Advance. Rogue Only's dead. Named CL, very, very low, and I think this might be the end of game 1 imminently. Don't go onto that fountain. Ooh, the bomb. Oh dear. Now they just have to... Oh no, the inhib! The inhib respawns! A guest appearance from the new Team Flash top laner, the red inhib, saving them a game. As that will definitely mean we keep playing. As out comes Kawhi, but knows not to go in that circle. A lot of damage. But there we go. Unlucky, the game continues.
Man. Just unlucky.
Yeah, unlucky. Bad timing.
All right, well, since we're still in this game, let's go back and sort of review the previous fight. I think the bait was very good. It was bait to Discarner to go for it. I think a bit of desperation on the red team side did also help motivate that, but I can't finish my point as they're going in again.
As they are going in again, and Banana Sucker has absolutely been caught out. This will be another kill. The Nasus was just trying to get a reset, and she has done that. But that's actually 4 kills, as Huna has not respawned yet. So this should be the outer tower finally going down. The red team getting 1 structure back.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, you sort of get the idea that right now Blue is just saying, yeah, okay, we'll reset right now and we'll go for a final push. We'll give away 1 or 2 towers. It's fine. But they think right now they are objectively stronger. And if they get
and they're going in here. They're taking this fight fairly outnumbered. As the cats were called in, under the tower is Skarner. Can they hold this tier 2? That'd be a very big deal, and I think they can, as Riven is just flying forward here, dealing so much damage and getting out. The Mega Inferno Bomb doesn't do a huge amount, but does help. Banana Sucker will be going down to Rogue Only, and Huna goes down as well. This might have been an overreach. The death timers are pretty long.
Yeah, that was far too eager coming in from Blue Team. They really did not want to give away their second.
Oh, and here we go. They're stating round 2. And can they get anything done? Talon has gone down. Not Lars has to deal a lot of damage. She's gotten 1. It's not quite enough. She goes down. And can they get through this Nasus before another kill? The shield comes out, but no. The kill comes in. And do they now have the push power with just 2 of them? They'll get the inhib, but I don't think they'll get the base.
And they absolutely will not be able to continue pushing. They're just going to go for the resets right now, and not exactly sure what's going on from Blue Team. They're playing way too overeager. We did see, sort of tempered play coming in until they lost the final push there. And I'm not sure what's devolved right now. They just had to sit back and continue playing. But right now they've given over the advantage over the red. I think you can see that even though gold is not that different, red does have a bit of a tempo advantage as soon as they respawn.
Yeah, absolutely. There is. It was given too much away. Now your super minions are being matched by enemy super minions. It's not a great engage there. I think was just a little bit too gung ho. We have to come up with another name for them because I don't know how I can say loudly. We can try, but. It is very even.
Refer to them by the champion name. It's fine.
That's fine. Yeah. It is very even at the moment between these 2 teams as the waves are being ping-ponged.
Yeah. It's not meant to be even, though. The issue is that Blue basically just smacked their head into a wall and died like 3 times each, giving over a chunk of gold over to Reds. And now Red have I'm not actually sure if they reset, so...
They did.
Basically, even if they don't have the gold advantage right now, they do have a bit more of a tempo advantage since they're coming up from a deficit.
Yeah, absolutely. They've been winning the last few fights, so they definitely can back themselves to win the next one. And it does just come down to execution. The items, I mean, obviously more items can come in, but I'm not sure how many more will come in before the end of this game, as it is only...
Yeah, you're not going to get too many resets until those Nexus explode.
Exactly.
Nexi?
Nexi? Yeah,
whatever.
Let's go with Nexi. As Red Team is storming down here. Try and get some more pressure. That Eve stealth actually coming a little bit into effect, as you don't know if she's too far forward or quite far back. The red inhib is back. Now they have super minion pressure, but here's the engage. Huna found the twisted advance and popped those cats immediately. There's a Mega Inferno Bomb, not doing a huge amount. Nameseo with a good flash away. Can this Talon find her way out? No, they can't, but there is a kill back. And the health bars are very, very even at the moment. Nameseo goes down, but not Rogue. Gets one. It's 2v3 at the moment. Hashido trying to charge forward, but unfortunately it's not the damage dealers here for the red side as, not Lars. He's just getting chased off by the Maokai. This is very smart by Hashido. He's making them chase him back so they don't have as much time to push after he goes down, which he finally has. There's the charm on the Maokai, but now it's not Lars, has to buy 10 seconds, and that's not too hard.
Yeah. Couple things that Blue did really well right there. They engaged when Nar was not in Mega Nar form, and so didn't really have all that tankiness, did not have the ult on the side of Red, and Blue did manage to basically shut down the gangplank very early on in that fight. So basically,
and here's another engage though. I hate to cut you off, as Kawaii Suna has been found going forward in that stealth, getting a lot of damage out of those blades. Can they find anything more? Not Lars goes forward, doesn't quite get the kill, but the Talon will. And now this is Red Team's chance to swing it all back. Siren's down. This is actually 3 kills for nothing traded back. This is a bit of a disaster here for the Blue Team, as now the push is happening. They've got a super minion in that wave. How much time do they have? They've got about 20 seconds. Can they find a Nexus tower or even the Nexus itself? I don't think that means
it's super difficult here.
That Inhib is not too far away from coming back up. So we might see
2 Inhib trolls in one game.
Ooh, maybe, but that tower goes down very, very quickly. They're taking the 2v5. They don't have much of a choice. And look at Talon just hitting the tower, just making sure they can get the structure. And I think the red team might well be able to get this one. They just need to focus the Nexus. And the Inhib came back! The Inhib has come back! It's Team Flash once again! They've been saved by the Inhib respawn. It goes down, but the Nexus is saved. Oh my word. 2 in a game.
The Inhib takers and the Inhib givers away. So unfortunate. What is going on in this game? I can't even say anything. I can't even say anything to that. Nope. Not even gonna try.
Won. Oh no, it's happened again.
Blue should have won. If we're gonna go off the Inhib logic.
Okay, fine, but in that particular passage of play.
Alright, fair. Right, we're approaching the late game. Inhib trolls aside, we're probably gonna see just one final fight, right? One final major fight, and the game is over. And the main point right now to focus on is Red Team's Gangplank, because once the Gangplank dies, they have no damage. Eve has gotten to that point where she started to fall off, and everyone else is just super tanky. So once the GP dies, the most they can do is delay. That's all.
This is a lot of damage on that Gangplank, though. Has completed the second Infinity Edge, so has a sword in each hand. It's just crazy amounts of damage. Didn't even go for the Essence Reaver. Bother. But Red Team at the moment do have the advantage in terms of the map, because their Inhib is up. They have super minions. They should be able to push. Though the wave clear from the Blue Team makes that very, very difficult.
Yeah. It's sort of like a 55-45.
Absolutely. Very, very close. Oh, but here comes the engage. The Mega Inferno Bomb has already been used. They're charging forward. In there goes the Evolt. Talon is being chased out. Can they get enough healing? No, they go down. But where is the Gangplank trying to track them? I can't even see them on screen right now, but Iskana chasing the Ziggs. And this is the Red Team coming in hot. And this should be them being able to walk it in. That Inhib's not going to respawn. Surely.
Yeah, a bit of, once again,
Nexus. The Red Team. A comeback.
I think we can both agree that the MVP in this game was the red inhibitor.
Yeah, that's not even in debate.
Basically.
That was.
Can we give points to the red inhib? Because I think the way it works is if you win a game, you get points. Like each individual player gets points.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So can we give points to the inhib?
Yeah, red inhib definitely MVP there for the red team.
Oh my word!
My God. Oh my! But with that, we'll be back very soon for another game. Hopefully it's
Excited.
as fun as the next... I mean, ARAMs are so much fun. Hell yeah, throw these at
Fair,
me.
yeah.
I'm having a great time. We'll see you very soon, guys. Don't you worry.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the FSL ARAM tournament for the Philippines. We're just going to jump right into champion select. Well, draft. We're not really selecting anything, but yeah, I'm not sure if you can see it on your screen right now, but we have jumped into draft.
They certainly can see it on their screen, as we do have the Fizz, Vi, Nami, Zinzao, and Galio, the purported strongest champion in ARAM, taking on Nasus, Cho, Lysandra, returning home, Irelia, and Yorick. There's not a lot of range in these teams.
Nope. It's going to be an all-out brawl, I think, and you do have a lot of AoE on both sides. We were talking about basically how broken the Galio is with the taunt and the ultimate, but if you do take a look on the other side, you do have a lot of AoE as well. You got a Cho'Gath knockup, you got the Lysandra ultimate, and you do have Nasus E potentially if Nasus decides to go AP. Well, full AP this time, no Trinity Force shenanigans, hopefully, in this game.
Hopefully. So, I mean, immediately, we did talk about the Galio earlier. That is not Lars. That was the Evelyn from our last game on that one. Mm-hmm. Seemed like a pretty decent mechanical player, though Evelyn struggled to get much done. That was more because it was...
She doesn't have to hide this time.
Yeah, exactly. Definitely not. Now, you said that you believe that Galio is the strongest champion in ARAM, and the statistics back you up. A 2% lead over the second most powerful champion.
Unverified. I will check that before we get in the next game.
Let's just roll with it.
Because I don't want to lie. Right?
Let's roll with it. It's probably true. That's pretty intense.
It is. Like, it's like 60-something%, so it's actually pretty busted.
That's pretty nuts. And I think overall, this blue side comp is a little bit stronger. It's hard. Like, Yorick on Summoner's Rift doesn't want to go to team fights.
Yeah.
And there's no side lane in ARAM. So this is a bit of a roughie for the
Yorick's not going to be doing much unless he has the Maiden of the Mist on the Abyss.
Yeah, and the unfortunate thing there is I think it's just going to get sniped off like all the time.
Well, you say sniped, blue team doesn't really have any sniping options.
Well, that is true.
Their roster.
True. The unfortunate thing is that Maiden of the Mist, I play a fair bit of Yorick, and it's very annoying sometimes because it wants to kill minions, and you have to walk very far away from it to convince it, like, no, come with me. And there's not really, can't walk that far on the Howling Abyss, unless you're just like, I'm just going to go, like, so far away that we can't team fight.
Are you saying that Yorick is Evelyn?
A little bit.
Yorick is Evelyn,
without the damage. That's the Rage Cage could do a fair bit. Stop Galio for a little bit, potentially. But we'll have to continue our discussion in just a little bit, as we will be going to the little bit of a break to get rid of the last bit of the spectator delay. We'll see you guys in game.
All right, hello everybody. Welcome back onto the Howling Abyss. We are now 30 seconds into the game, and yeah, not much action to talk about so far. I'm not exactly sure if the black bar issue is fixed, but yeah,
It's
we
not,
are just gonna jump
unfortunately.
right into it. Unlucky.
We are doing our best. It's a very strange issue that OBS really doesn't want to fix, but I'm doing what I can. Even if, regardless, it's not a huge issue. Despite that, but we do have an immediate fight here. Rogue only going forward on the Nasus, hits that wither. Can he get out? No, she definitely can't. That is a very early first blood here for the blue team. That Nasus was going on a journey.
Hey, Nasus dying seems to be the theme of the game today.
Also, I'd like to bring your attention to the sheen in the Nasus inventory, which I do not believe builds into an AP.
No. Well, it's still
Nasus.
better than going. It's still better than going AP into Triforce. So I'll give it that.
That's true. If you're going to go normal Nasus, just go normal Nasus. There's nothing wrong with it, even though it's potentially not quite as strong on the Howling Abyss. Aurelia does get a good double stun, but here comes the re-engage. There's a huge stun there by the Galio. The taunt hit 3. Kawaii Sonar not going to get this one. No, can't get anything done. Nasus will get one back, but it's Fizz with the double kill. And then Nasus goes down to the Xin Zhao. And
yeah, basically,
not a good start.
You just got yourself a little. Yeah, you got yourself a little taste of why the Galio is so busted. He just throws himself at you, stuns up. Basically stuns up like half your team, and there's nothing you can do about it.
There is nothing. You are just pretty much straight up dead when that happens. That taunt is very, very big on the Howling Abyss, and with that snowball, it's very hard to stop the Galio getting in. Looking forward to team fights where Galio has his ult. That circle is for the heroic entrance is very big on the Howling Abyss. See if they can contain this, but here's another engage. Lysandra goes very, very low, flashing away. Galio chummins up that taunt and gets 2 into the Nami bubble. Lysandra dies there on the side. Can they find anything more? I don't think they will. Oh, yes, they will. I tell a lie as Reverie on the Nami throws herself forward.
Yeah, that was a good shockwave punch coming in from the Vi to pick up the kill onto the Lysandra. Not exactly was it Lysandra? I think it was Lysandra. Not exactly sure how Cho'Gath died at the back of that fight. But it's just so difficult to basically resist and engage coming in from blue team right now. They have so many tools to get in, and that's not even counting the Galio. Like you saw in that previous fight, Xin Zhao basically threw himself into red team as well. And as long as his team is there to back him up or her up, I'm not sure how we're referring to it this game, but yeah, it's very difficult for red team basically to survive in these early fights.
Yeah, absolutely. It's very tricky. And of course, we haven't even seen a fight with the Nami wave. And as we say it, it happens. Look at the CC. What the hell do you do against a Fizz ult, the Galio ult, and the Nami ult here? It's absolutely brutal. Kawaii Sonar is going to get something done. We'll pick up the kill onto Vi. But the rest of them... Oh, no. This is actually the blue team getting taken out. They had a good engage, but they haven't had a reset, so they didn't have items. They really just
that's just the issue. Like they had all the CC in the world. If they had items, red team should have died. They would not be alive right now. But the unfortunate thing is, well, it's not unfortunate. They're gonna get the reset now, so they'll have that damage coming into the next few fights.
Yeah, absolutely. And they lose a little bit of damage on their tower, but it's not that bad. And as we see the Maiden of the Mist, look how far away Yorick was, but his wife decided they really wanted to suck on that tower. So that is now Yorick without his dueling power.
I think Yorick actually just released her at that point. You're not going to be that far away.
Yeah, I actually think so. As soon as I started saying it, I was like, I should probably star. I don't think that's correct, personally, but I think it's what happened.
Yeah.
You do see these teams returning to a bit of parity. Both teams have had a reset. They've got components. Full item completed for Fizz. Has got that Ludens. Xin Zhao looking towards a Triforce. Nami actually didn't die. So
yeah,
she hasn't got
She's
her
a CC bot.
It's true. She is just.
Now I'm starting to think 4 rabbit on Nami.
The wave hits. The wave felt around the world.
Oh man. We're going to see red team starting to push up. I do think they have a bit more of a ability to clear wave clear well, especially with the
Ooh, there's an
Yorick
engage.
ghouls.
What was that? That was a very strange one. The snowball into the immediate self-ult from Lissandra. Not last, threw herself in on that Galio. Did a bit of CC, but does go down. There's a Nami wave, and now the blue team CC is taking over, but they haven't got this Irelia, who can definitely take fights over, but can't this time, because before you go on this Fizz is dealing an absolutely disgusting amount of damage. And it's only 2 members of the red team left, and the tower under threat, but Rai wants to make it only 1 left, as it is only the Yorick, and he will go down to the Fizz. Now the blue team take a couple of resets. Unfortunate there, they can't push the tower. Maybe should have reset after dealing some tower damage, but they didn't really have time.
Yeah, that ain't it. I'm not sure what that engage coming from Lissandra was like. Let's go, guys, and goes in. Team is nowhere to be found. Just super unfortunate. Tries to back away, but ends up getting the entire team killed as well. The only positive coming out of that was the tower dive, because red team did manage to pick up a couple kills off the back of it, solely due to that tower.
Absolutely. That is sort of the nature of the ARAM at times, where a fight will go heavily one way, but until you're actually getting structure damage, it doesn't matter that much, because the gold ends up ping-ponging because you want your reset. You very rarely have time to wait long enough to get an execute on the tower. What these teams want to be doing, as this Fizz is absolutely terrifying, by the way.
Yeah, the I can't recall the ultimate name. Let's call the ultimate. The Fizz ultimate.
Chum the Waters.
Chum the Waters, that's it. Is so threatening. You can see that she is just positioning up forward and threatening to pull the ultimate on anyone who steps into range. Have to be very careful of your red team right now, just continuing to push towards the turret, but that does mean you are a little overextended, and we have already discussed blue team very good at engaging. They're showing that right now.
Vi going forward, the Yorick cage holding things back for now. This is something we haven't even really talked about, is the Vi. Obviously, she adds a huge amount of engage with the Q and the assault and battery. Once the blue team decides to go, the red team can't get away. There's no disengage here.
Yeah, that's sort of my bad, because in the previous few fights, we have actually seen the engages coming in from the Vi. So when she wants to get going, she goes. I mean, you take a look at blue team's composition. We've already brought this up. They want to engage. They go for it, and they stick to you, like you said. Once they go in, red team's not getting out.
Absolutely. And it is just this little poke here from Hashijo on the Vi. Very smart. They're using the shield. A lot of damage. Can they get the Vault Breaker? That third auto attack? No, not quite. They will get caught here. Oh. Have to flash as a bubble lands on Yorick. The wave used as well for disengage. A little bit of an overreach here by Vi.
Yeah, especially this early on. The Nami wave does take a little bit more time to recharge, so that is going to be a crucial cooldown that they are not going to have. Obviously, they still have a ton more CC, but the wave is actually pretty crucial in these fights, I think.
Absolutely, I think so. It's particularly to lock down this Irelia, who otherwise will just be dancing around the fight, and very difficult to stop, even with things like the Galio and the Xin Zhao. And ooh, there's the Vi going forward again, dealing a lot of damage, but does get caught in the flawless duet. This is the follow-up into the Galio ult. This Yorick does not have much chance at all. He goes down immediately. There's the Vanguard's Edge trying to get something done, but the health bars for the red team are looking a little bit pale. Actually, no. They got out there. That's very surprising, but no, now the second wave of the fight will happen. The shutdown on the Lissandra. A 2-for-1. I thought that was going much worse for the red team, but they managed to play that very well.
Yeah, they basically just blue team just basically walked away and say, if you're not gonna try to take us out right now, we're just gonna wait for our cooldowns to come back up before jumping back in, and that's exactly what they did. Picked up another kill. But one thing I do want to bring to attention is the fact that Lissandra right now is actually pretty strong, because if you did see in the previous fight, the passive with the ice ghouls basically did quite a bit of work. Close enough on blue team.
I've spent too much time reading tooltips, and I will show it off at every opportunity. As I think Rogue only going for the reset there. It looked like a bit of negative gaming, but I assure you that was intentional. No big problem there. Very smart as well from the red team. Send one of you to do that because they can't do anything. It's a 4v5, but it's only a 4v. You can just clear the waves.
The fear there is that if they did not communicate that properly, and Red just basically said, "Our Nexus is dying, let's jump in," and they all end up dying. Fortunately, that didn't happen. I think sometimes we see that, so it's very nice to see communication coming through on the side of Red this time.
Absolutely, I think that was very well communicated. Just, hey, I'm gonna int. Don't worry, don't report me. All very intentional. And now we're just back to clearing waves. The ping-ponging of the waves. We are watching the NALCS. We've come back for a show, Matt. So clearing waves in mid for 45 minutes.
Is there a quota? I think we flamed NA the previous time as well.
It's too easy. Here is the engage. Zin's out charging forward, but gets locked up by so much CC. Pops the ult, doesn't take damage from downtown. And not Lars on this Galio, trying to get it all done. There is the first kill onto the Lissandra, but the blue team health bars are not very high. This Nasus could get a lot done, and absolutely is. This is the red team going absolutely nuts, and it's a 2-for-5. Red team heavily coming out on top.
Yeah, absolutely. Props to the Lissandra once again, very strong in the current moment for being able to distract the blue team for basically half the fight. I think half of blue team were trying to kill her and just standing around her instead of doing damage onto the remainder of red team. So great props to the Lissandra being played very well in a very strong position.
Absolutely. It's very, very impressive. Just so far out of the entire red team, now we have been saying that blue team has a very, very powerful comp. And that's still true, don't get me wrong. But I think the red team has been playing their comp just a little bit better. As you said there, the great engage from the blue team is wasted when 3 of your members are standing around waiting to kill a Lissandra, and 2 of your members are just dying in the backline. It needs to be much more synced up.
Yeah, it all comes down, I think, to communication for the blue team. They're not really communicating who they want to target to each other properly. And they have to continue, they have to be able to do that in upcoming fights. If not, once again, they're just going to stand around, wait for Lissandra to come out of the ultimate. And it's just not the best use of your time.
No, absolutely not. The Lissandra with the self-ultimate is just incredibly safe. And here is the engage. The snowballs from downtown. There is the Lissandra with the self-ult. That Nami wave hitting a lot. Unfortunately, the follow-up CC wasn't fantastic. There is the first kill, and I think the red team is about to get absolutely cleaned up. That's a double kill for Xin Zhao. Can they find anything more? Cho'Gath does get one on the back. Could get 2, as Galio's in a lot of trouble. The Frozen Thrall absolutely destroyed him. So this Cho'Gath has really taken the teeth out of any push that could come on the backside, as she finally goes down. Can they get this tower? They don't. There's got no wave.
Yep. As soon as we praise red team for execution, we see the Aurelia with the ultimate on to 5 members. There were 5 members that if she got that ultimate off, she would have been such a menace in the backline. But unfortunately, does not do that. And the moment, even though she got the stun, that was far too late for
it to do anything. That's a big one. They were going for their resets, but actually got the tower. I'm surprised 2 of them back off there. Suppose they're a bit afraid of the counter push, which is a valid fear. Yep. Towers evened up. It's a fairly close game.
Yeah, let's take a step back though. One point I want to bring across is that even though we did praise, we did point out that blue team have a very good engage composition.
Oh, there's an engage. Speaking of which, I hate to cut you off, but there's a lot of damage being done. The Galio taunt won't last quite long enough to get onto the Lissandra. And Xin Zhao desperately wants the kill, but perhaps overestimated herself just a little bit, as they do get found. Fizz going into the backline. They're just come on, guys. It's not 1v5. You can kill other people. Like, the Lissandra's important, but not that important. That was very bad out of the blue team. I'm afraid there's really no other way to put it. And they're going to lose an in-him for it.
Yep. In the previous game, we did see blue team do basically the same thing. Oh, they're going to continue pushing right now.
Yeah, I think this is just going for resets. A lot of damage, but if they get the kills, they could absolutely just end the game. I don't think they quite will. The health bars are a little bit too high here for the blue team, as Reverie does clean up the Aurelia, and the rest of them will be cut down. And what do you know? Lissandra was the last one to die, as finally the ace comes in. But they're too far away to take any structures.
Yep, there's not much of window here. Just have to continue wave clearing, and hopefully the next fight goes in their favor. But yeah, I'm not exactly sure what that initial engage coming in from blue team was. 2 games in a row now, we've seen blue team basically throw themselves at the wall, and that's basically what just happened in that fight.
Yeah, that is exactly what happened. This is a little bit rough now for the blue team. They are an inhib down, which of course means the waves will naturally push towards them, as well as the fact that in general they've had the worst wave control regardless. It has been the Nasus and the Cho'Gath being able to clear waves out very well, of course, as well as the Lysandra.
Yeah, and the point I wanted to bring across before that fight engaged is that red team is now starting to become tankier. And if blue team are unable to kill the red team on that initial engage, guess what? You've just surrounded yourself with the entire red team. So once this red team gets going with the health bars, this is very difficult for blue team to find an appropriate window in order to get a favorable fight.
Yeah, absolutely. And I like this positioning here. Lysandra standing a little bit split to the rest of the team to kind of say, you either have to use your engage on me or the rest of my team. You can't get both. And it's a Lysandra. They use the engage on her, just press R on yourself. Cool. I'll just go into my block of ice. I'll be very happy.
All right, we are going to continue seeing this push for a while, I think, unless blue team go for the engage right now. Slow and steady seems to be the name of the game. Red team, they can afford to continue doing this. Just continue clearing the wave, continue poking out the blue team right now. And I think they're just a little bit afraid if they go for the final engage. If it was sufficiently delayed long enough, the inhibitor might just respawn once again.
Oh no, it couldn't happen 3 times in 2 games, surely. That would be way too much, as the Yorick cage is good, but they're just threatening the engage as the red team. They're not pulling the trigger yet. They just want to rot these health bars away a little bit. Nami's healing just isn't enough to get people back up near full. Getting very tense.
Yep. Yeah, it's just who gets desperate now, who pulls the trigger. Red team has been very patient right now, and they continue. They have to.
Oh, and there's the trigger. Perhaps as the flawless duet does land, this is definitely going to be the engage. Lysandra's gone flying forward. The ult's already been used. Was used aggressively. The Lysandra has gone down, but the health bars for the red team. Everyone's looking pretty healthy, honestly, on both sides. Rogue only going incredibly deep, but will find the kill onto the Nami. This is now, I think, the red team has won the team fight and should be able to follow that up with the game winners. Oh no, another very interesting Irelia ult, as Fizz actually getting a lot done, taking this Irelia on an absolute journey. Yorick's on the Nexus, we know, but let's just focus on this little journey for now. Yeah. As finally, Fizz has gone down. The Nexus is being hit. Yorick has a little cage. He just needs to hit the Nexus. Just hit the Nexus. Can he do enough? I don't think he can. Nope. They survive!
Not again!
Unreal! They're gonna survive, and we go back. Irelia goes down, and we've got more game to play.
Yep, I'll be real. Red team should just clean up now. Especially with the Irelia reset. If she hits the ultimate, she's gonna be doing a lot of damage. That's all I have to say.
Yep. I think so. That Irelia ult should be hitting. Unfortunately, it hasn't.
Yeah. Way too many times. Blue team is continuing the engagement. Let's go.
And that they are, and they will be able to pick up the kill onto Rogue only in just a moment. The wave used, but the rest of the disengage from the blue side is good. This is a chance for them to charge forward and perhaps take another structure. As Vi goes forward, this Cho'Gath taking a lot of damage. He's a tanky boy, of course, but not quite tanky enough as the redemption coming in. A lot of healing. The health bars on both sides are looking very, very dodgy, but look at all that damage under the tower. Cho'Gath has gone down. Yorick getting hit by this Fizz, who has done so much before you go, having an absolute MVP performance in this game. She is playing fantastically. Flawless duet does not land. Do they want to keep this one going, or will it be the back-off? I think it'll be the back-off.
Yeah, before you go, doing a very good job being a distraction in the red team's backline, and that fight, not exactly sure what's going on. Especially with red team not exactly having full strength, with I think Irelia still in the base, so definitely should not have hand shook that fight. Should have just backed off. You still had the turret. You could have continued to defend back there. You don't have to take these risks and risk basically giving blue team some sort of avenue back into the game.
Yeah, absolutely. So we have more waves being cleared back and forth.
Exciting stuff. But yeah, it's good because blue team did manage to clear that chokehold that red team didn't have at the Nexus. Obviously, they didn't end the game, so that's definitely a plus.
Absolutely, it's more damage being thrown out. Inhib has respawned. Didn't save a Nexus this time, so really not pulling as much of its weight. And there's the engage, the flash Vi engage. The Galio ult actually doesn't land onto anyone. And oh dear God, this might not be good for the blue team. They're taking a lot of damage. And one of them has already gone down. The big Galio taunt comes in. And can this Lissandra find her way out? She can! This Lissandra lives, and this is going to be the end of the blue team. Before you go, the last one living has gone golden, but will be claimed. Oh, gets the Lissandra on the way out.
Wow.
Oh, just in there for the style. But it doesn't matter, as the game will go to the red team, and they overcome the incredible engage of the blue side to take the win. Very impressive stuff.
One thing I want to point out just before we go. Yeah. I think red team, one thing we didn't really talk about, red team did very well in baiting out the Vi engages, especially in the last few fights of that match. I believe you can recall the last fight. Definitely, they baited the Vi into going in, and they just backed off before anyone else could follow up. And I think that really was the reason why they managed to pick up that victory in the final hour.
I agree, for sure. It was a really good performance out of the red team there, going in with possibly the worst comp, but taking a fairly dominant victory. Yeah. Very impressive stuff. But we'll be back in a little bit to bring you more games. Don't go anywhere, guys. It's been a lot of fun so far. But we'll be back momentarily.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to game number 3 of the FSL ARAM tournament we are having ourselves here in the Filipino region. We've seen some very exciting games in the last two games, and we're looking forward to the next few. I think we have 2 more to go. Let's just jump right in. I think we're in draft right now.
That we are, as we have Garen, Zed, Rengar, Alistair, and Na taking on Twitch, Shen, Shyvana, Tahm Kench, and Poppy. We finally have an AD carry in a game.
And that instantly gives the advantage over Red. Not to mention the rest of their champions are super, super good in the late game as well. Blue team, on the other hand, I think they do have a chance to sort of try to snowball something if they can get a lead, especially early on. They do have the tool to do so, especially when they hit the mid game with the Gnar ult, Garen being very strong in mid, as well as the Zed, of course. So I think it's a bit of it comes down to who gets a hit early. If Blue is able to get a hit early, they should be able to snowball. If Red manages to hold the line, they should have the advantage when it comes to the late game, especially with the Twitch.
Yeah, I 100% agree. But we will have to see how it plays out. We'll be back when we have a game. See you guys in just a little bit. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, everybody. We are, of course, still waiting out that spectator delay. But so, what is your sort of impressions of the comp? We'll start with the blue side. They have a lot of assassination power. So while that Twitch, you said having the Twitch gives them an instant advantage. And I think you're right.
Yep.
But how long does that Twitch survive against Zed and Rengar?
That's the thing, right? Because I think Twitch is actually one of the best AD carries to go against these assassins because he has the range, right? He has, I think, 850, 900 range when he pops the ultimate. So you can just sort of sit in the back line, and if the Zed tries to get close to you, you're still quite far away enough to sort of have a bit of a reaction window. You can just step out of the way, or well, at least try to do so while still continuing to put down that damage. You just have to kite pretty well on the Twitch.
True, and there is, of course, a Tahm Kench that can just be standing next to him. Rengar comes out of that ult, which is a bit easier than Zed to get there. You just press ult and charge. You just Tahm Kench.
Ideally, you want a front line, of course. You want the Tahm Kench on the Twitch, and you do have other defensive options like Poppy and Shyvana are going to be pretty tanky, especially if Shyvana's in that dragon form in the team fight, as well as the Stand United from the Shen could possibly come down if they really need that defensive option. It's there as well.
Absolutely. And as well, of course, this is a possibility for, I don't even think it's a possibility, I think it will be the AP Shyvana, which just does really gross amounts of damage.
Yeet the E.
Yeah.
Just yeet it in,
Yeah, dropping absolute bombs. If you've watched certain professional regions, you'll know that AP Shyvana can do really filthy damage. Really, really filthy.
Absolutely. Right. We are jumping into game shortly. So we are sort of on a loading screen right now. Nothing too interesting, I think. All the keystones are, as you'd expect. Rengar going for the Conqueror instead of the Electrocute is something interesting, though. Not exactly going for the upfront power, just wants a bit more sustain, which I'm not sure if you're going to get.
Yeah.
Honestly, if you're jumping in on the pitch.
Yeah, I don't think the Conqueror is going to get much done. I think it is just going to be the...
It's a little bit.
Regardless, other than that, it's pretty normal. I'm surprised Gnar has gone the Conqueror. I almost would have liked to see a defensive summoner like Aftershock Be very, very tanky on the engage, but oh well. Not a big deal. Sorry. Fix something?
All good. Hang on a minute. Right, okay.
Anyway.
Right. Not exactly sure what to talk about now. Just sort of waiting for a timer to count down.
Well,
it's ARAM, so it's just gonna be a lot of team fighting.
That we are. We are in the loading screen. It should be very, very soon. This Twitch is the big, important factor. The saving grace here is that the front line for the blue side is very, very tanky. A Garen, an Alistair, and a Gnar, assuming the Gnar is mega. That's a lot of damage for the Twitch to cut through. He certainly can, but if he makes any mistakes and dies, it gets hard for the red side.
Yeah, it's AP sort of like a tank versus tank matchup, right?
Sort of. Yeah.
Both sides have a lot of tanks, right? I think the real damage comes down to Twitch versus Zed and Rengar and how red team's tanks are going to be able to peel for their AD carry. I think that's how this match is going to be decided.
Yeah. I completely agree. So, this Shyvana, she does a lot of damage, but can you get that much AP Shyvana damage done against this team? Realistically, you're not going to be hitting the Zed and the Rengar because they're going to be hiding or jumping around, and then it's just tanks that just absorb the flames for as long as they want. Really, an interesting one. I think the Shen as well is a very big deal. That taunt is going to be very, very powerful, I think, as we do finally hit the abyss.
I think the word of the day, once again, is execution. Who's going to be able to put down the damage where, who's going to be able to peel for whom, and I think that will eventually, once again, decide who is the victor, save for another interesting, inhibitor play.
Yeah. If the inhib happens again, I'll
tilt.
I don't think I'll be able to do the last game. I think I might just retire, leave my career as a caster behind. The inhib happens again.
You lost to the inhib. Come on, man.
Yeah, I mean, I think I would have lost to the inhib at that point.
Do we give the inhib more points if the inhib beats one of our casters?
Absolutely, for sure.
Inhib wins the day.
The inhib just wins if it beats me as well. I'm not even in the game. That's impressive. But you see the teams lining up. Very defensive positioning here by the red side. They have just chilled under their tower. That makes sense. They don't really want to do anything for as long as possible.
Yeah, we talked about that in Champ Select, right? Basically what they have to do is just not die until they get to like 20 minutes, which realistically is not going to happen. So I'll say like die as little as you possibly can.
Yeah, I mean, that kind of sounds like what I desperately try and tell my teammates in solo queue, and that never works, so I don't have a huge amount of faith.
Hey, these players are, slightly higher rank than your solo queue teammates, I believe. So hopefully they have a bit more game sense and ability to not pull the trigger.
I've been playing a lot of jungle Karthus. Doesn't go well with solo queue teammates. But on to things that people care about, which of course is the match on our screen. The blue team is pushing in as we sound like broken records. This is to be expected. The blue team is going to have the run of the map until Twitch is scary.
Yeah, absolutely. No disagreements with that. And you can see a little bit of a friendly banter, as it were, coming in with the emotes from the Garen and the Alistair. Definitely always a fan of the Alistair Moo bell ringing thingy.
Yeah, gotta hit that cowbell.
Always very fun. Yep.
More cowbell is more good. So very good in this game. That could potentially be a very slow one for the Howling Abyss. You get that Moo cow Alistair. Very glad to see it.
Yeah, there probably aren't going to be many fights going on. As soon as I
Ooh,
say
Tom
that,
Kench has been caught, punted back, and this is going to be a full-on fight here. The Shen auto attack zone is being used. Everyone disengaging at the moment. Are they going to try and go back in? Black Dahlia out of the bush with that Rengar, doing a lot. Not last, takes a lot of damage, but does manage to get away. The Mega Gnar going low. Huna on the Twitch has not been touched yet, and that is the first blood onto the Rengar. And oh no, the red team has picked up two. The taunt lands. Can they get any more?
Huna.
Look at Twitch going. Huna has flashed forward in the stealth. He's trying to 1v3. Has got one of those three, but does go down. But it doesn't matter because the team will be there to clean them up. Nicole is desperately running around trying to figure out what to do as the Zed. Can she pick up a kill? She can. Very well done there. Picking up the kill on the Tom Kench before she goes down. What a ridiculous little exchange we just had.
Yep, a bit of resets coming in right now. I'm just going to talk over it. Very good peel coming in from Red Team in order to keep the Twitch topped off and healthy until, at the final end of that fight did flash in. And was a little bit overeager trying to get the rat snowballed ahead early on, which unfortunately, actually I think they did a pretty good job at doing that.
Yeah, I think they
did get the reset as well onto the Twitch. Definitely could have saved the barrier, I think, but now should be in a bit of a stronger position for the upcoming team fight.
Yeah, I think overall both teams are fairly happy with how that went, particularly the red team. Managing to win a fight that early on, perhaps they shouldn't really be winning. It's a bit of misexecution from the blue side.
For sure, and the faster...
EF sword.
Yeah, the quicker... Yep. The quicker they accelerate this Twitch, the easier it is for them to get this composition rolling earlier on.
Yeah, absolutely. And now they are feeling a little bit more confident. They're going forward a bit more. Garen charging forward. Rengar backing him up. Black Dahlia, a lot of damage going on to Yomochi here. But look at the turn as the blue team, their health bar's rotting away. The big Mega Gnar, though, has gnarred him into the wall. And now the blue team is running them over. This was an absolutely massive play out of Ray Ray. And they're trying to get something done. Shen flashes away, but not Lars. Doesn't want to let him escape. We'll just start hitting the tower. Can they take this structure? They don't have enough minions, I think. They will definitely get their resets, though. Can they pick up these kills? They can pick up the first one onto Reverie. But now with the red team reinforcing, I think we may well see just the one death. The others aren't going to go for the reset.
Yeah, and that fight was more like what we expected to see early on. I think blue team did an exceptional job just jumping onto the Twitch. Just disregard everybody else. They don't really have damage yet. Go for the Twitch. They do manage to pick up a kill and shut down the rat, and they do end up being the victors of that fight, taking some chunk damage of that first tier turret, not being able to take it down, but still a good advantage nonetheless.
Yeah, for sure. Very well done there, particularly Ray Ray, with a massive Gnar ult that completely turned what looked a little bit dicey there around. Managed to get blue team a team fight victory. Of course, with the resets coming in, we do have 2 needlessly large rods for Shyvana. If we can get into that dragon form, she'll be doing a lot of damage.
4 Rabadons. Let's go. I want to see it.
I don't know if you're going to get your wish of 4 Rabadons. Shyvana's got a big head, though, so maybe she can fit 4 caps on.
All right.
Well, she's a dragon. Dragon's got a big head. And the blue team shoving in.
We need a counter of how many times we say that, man. I think we say it way too much. But yeah, I mean, it's not much else they can do. Red team just has to continue playing defensively. If blue engages onto them, they have to sort of try to disengage. Red is not really gonna attempt any sort of engages. I think there will be not much sense for them to do so.
Yeah, absolutely agree. Red just wants to catch the engages, catch the waves forever, which is stealthed up. Could threaten something, but just threatening the minions. They're trying to get as much farm as they can onto the Twitch, which makes a lot of sense. Unfortunately, Poppy has stolen a fair bit too much so far. Okay.
That's cool. He's got 30. That's the most out of anybody, so he should have the most gold right now, along with all the stacks of kills. They're going in.
Oh,
No,
and here's
not sure
the
why.
engage. That's a very bold start. The Stand United was used. There's the death mark onto the
Okay.
Shyvana, which is still alive. Look at all this damage coming out of the Shyvana. Twitch is still alive as well. This is a bit of a disaster here for the blue team. They're caught split. Can we see that rat-a-tat-tat being used? I think it already has been. Yeah, it has in fact. There's a lot of damage still for the Twitch. Yomochi charging forward on the Poppy. The Shyvana Dragon form is gone, but Black Dahlia goes down. And it's only one member of the red team dying in exchange for multiple blue team members. But again, it's just a bit too early. You can't get enough structure damage quite yet. Zed absolutely charging forward, but gets hit by his old mentor and then knocked to another planet by the Poppy, that Hammer of Justice. Looking very, very good.
Yeah, definitely. I think that the execution coming in from the team was impeccable, but they're going once again.
Yep, that they absolutely are. Siren will pick up a kill. The Poppy no dash zone as well. Not Lars going down. And it looks like the red team could win 2 team fights in a row. Siren went over aggressive there to make sure they got the reset. That makes a lot of sense. And it will be the blue team cleaning this one up over time. How long can the red team delay? They deny the health relic. Ooh, Black Dahlia, very aggressive there. Twitch should be finally going down, but no, the barrier and the flash. Look at this Twitch. He's got the dancing shoes on, and look at all this damage. Ray gnaws in frustration, but it's a triple kill for the rat. That's a concern.
And I guess this is your obligatory team smacking their head against the wall type of thing in this ARAM, like we've seen in the previous 2, giving a ton of kills over to the Twitch trying to kill him and unfortunately not being able to do so. 7, 3, and 8. Picking up the Storm Razor instantly as well as a pickaxe. Looking pretty damn happy right now.
And the second BF sword. The first BF sword went into that Storm Razor. That is a lot of gold. That is a deadly, deadly situation here. This Twitch is already getting a bit out of control. We saw as well that Shyvana was a massive problem for the blue side in that last fight, and she could be again. She has the Rabidant charging forward. I actually don't think this is... Oh, as we go to a little bit of a pause, we see that death mark will be coming in.
Who's gonna win? Who's gonna win? Who's gonna win?
Drum roll, please. We desperately hope. There we go, we're back. And a lot of damage is being dealt there. Black Dahlia has been the first one to go down, and it is another member of the blue team as well. Has gone forward on the cow to try and get some zoning done. Did some zoning, does get the kill onto the dragon, but that I don't think is going to be enough, as it is only the Meganar and a very unhealthy Zed left. Poppy throws herself forward. Huna on this Twitch dealing so much damage. It does not stop. They want to finally get this tower.
And it absolutely does not stop because Ihuna is still full health right now, just chunking down
that's
everybody
Zed.
else. You're not going to kill this Twitch. You're going to lose the turret.
Absolutely.
Unfortunate for blue team.
The Shen auto attack zone doing so much work there, blocking the crucial autos from Zed. But Not Lars has arrived on the Garen and gotten one. I don't know why I said that. But does go down, and look at the kiting. The Twitch gets into stealth. Might not be enough. Black Dahlia apparently gets a little bit tricked for what happened there. As this is now a 10-3-10 Twitch. Hasn't even taken the reset and still has 1.5 items. He's going to finally go for the reset. In he goes. They'll just get a free kill. And let's see what he buys.
Let us see what he buys. Probably an IE right now.
Probably.
There it is.
And there's the Infinity Edge. Oh, this rat's scary.
This rat is very scary. And it all comes down to, I think, that initial engage from the Shyvana 2 fights ago, I want to call it. I was sort of questioning what they were trying to do there, but the Shyvana did sufficiently split the fight enough that Twitch basically had free reign against the Alistair and did manage to pick up that kill.
The blue team, though, does fire back and get the tower. It was just very, very low.
Yeah, just walk in and pick it up while the Twitch is gone. That's not much else you can do there.
Structures are even then, so...
Yep.
That's nice.
That is nice. What is not nice, though, is that the Twitch is now back. And is ready to deal a chunk of damage onto blue team. They're not sufficiently tanky enough. I don't think Zed and Ranga have been doing enough to get through the front line in order to get to the AD carry. So if we continue to see these fights play out in the way that they have been doing, I don't see Red losing any of these fights from now on.
At the moment, Zed and Rengar have been having to use all of their burst on the Shyvana engages.
Yeah.
Because you can't ignore the Shyvana, and okay, they're shutting her down, sort of. She's still doing a lot of damage. But then you've used all of your tools, and you just have Huna on this Twitch just shredding. Just doing an absolutely ridiculous amount of damage. There's an attempted engage. Huna has to flash away. Is chasing this rat. The dragon form is used. They're doing everything to make sure this Twitch lives. And I think, once again, the Twitch is unmolested. The health bar is full. Black Dahlia trying to run, but is slowed up. And the blue team will melt away. And I think the red team has firm control of this match.
I think that was the worst kind of execution that you could possibly have wanted coming in from blue team. You have two options, right? Either you jump on the Twitch, you make sure you can get onto him, or you send the Alistair to deal with him and take out the rest of red team's front line first. What they did there was they sent the Alistair in, then they sent the Zed, but Zed was not able to jump onto the Twitch, ended up dying, and now that half of your damage is basically gone in the form of the Zed, blue team did not have enough to take down red's front line, and Twitch just basically cleaned up.
Yeah, pretty much. That was not the prettiest by blue side. They will be punished for it by losing an inhib. Red side will just back off, try and find a health relic or something to get their health bar back up, and see if they can string 2 team fights in a row. That's hard, because obviously if you win a team fight, the opponent gets to reset. Mm-hmm. But, Shyvana caught out a little bit, but gets swallowed up by the catfish, that Tahm Kench, showing why he is a staple many levels of play of League of Legends.
Don't really like him in Summoner's Rift, but he seems to be doing work right now on the Howling Abyss, so props over to the catfish.
I hate him.
Such a frustrating champion.
I hate him. But he is doing very well this game, so I think the blue team is probably feeling pretty similar to me at the moment. That they are hating him, doing a lot of zoning work, saving his teammates. And, bit of damage out of the Twitch. Of course, does have a Storm Razor, so one auto attack slows you down for a very long time.
Just getting very spooky. The main thing that we have to focus now on is who engages and how that engage happens. Once again, we did outline the 2 options for blue team to take these fights, but I'm not going to hold that as Shen is jumping in once again.
Yep, there is an engage. The auto attack zone once again has been used to stand united to give a shield to the Shyvana. They're trying to do as much damage as they can. They haven't gotten onto the Twitch, though. He is still very, very healthy. Nicole G on the Zed has gone down. Twitch finally has been found by someone. CC has landed, but will they be able to get the kill? At this point, it's just a consolation prize, but it is the shutdown. Twitch is dead, but not Lars is the last member of the blue team standing. And the red team now will charge forward.
Yeah, they're just going to have to get resets. They're not going to be able to do any damage onto the Nexus turrets, I think.
Yeah.
Especially not with their main damage dealer in the form of Twitch. Good props to Garen for finally managing to take him down. But all that means is now that Twitch has died, he has managed to pick up a Runan's Hurricane. So much damage, man.
Yep, and it looks like the red team, they're not even looking for resets here. It's surprising. I think they probably should be. Maybe they want to go one at a time.
Yeah, they're putting basically all their eggs in the Twitch basket right now, right? They say as long as we continue peeling for our rat, he's going to be able to do enough damage to basically clinch the victory. And the risk that they're running right now is that the Twitch basket is just not enough for them to win the match. So not going for this reset, definitely the risky play, but it does accelerate their ability to try and win this game.
Yep. I think putting the eggs in the Twitch basket definitely makes some sense, though you probably don't eat any egg that Twitch gives you. Just saying. He's a sewer rat.
Damn it. God damn
Not
it.
a very nice egg.
All right. Fair enough.
He can offer you an egg in this trying time. And with the engage, Siren flying in, Shen goes in, lands a big taunt, and oh god, they're just melting away. Twitch hasn't even come out of stealth yet, finally does. The death mark will land on Twitch for the first time in the game. There's the barrier, and the damage is being dealt. Huna, where is he? In the back, I can't even find him, but it's a double kill for him. There he is, in the front, in fact. I'm completely wrong, I'm blind. Poppy with the good stun against the wall, and that's an ace. They're all alive, except for Siren. And this time, they should be able to get some damage done, as Time Kench has already altered that down there with the Abyssal Voyage. They're getting the damage started. It's not very much, but still, they should be able to get at least one Nexus tower.
If he stays alive, they might be able to win the game, like right now.
Very tricky.
Not sure if blue team can kill him.
I mean, they can potentially just take another fight. Twitch is in stealth, avoiding that. There's the shutdown onto the Garen. The inhib has respawned, so I don't think they'll be winning the game. Once again, inhibs, very important. They're charging forward.
You can see Alistair is just walking towards the Twitch, constantly mashing the dash key, and it's just out of range. So damn unfortunate, not able to find the engage, and red team do manage to disengage just in time.
That they do. But still, no resets for most of this front line. Shen finally got one, but I don't think Poppy's had one for a while. Nor has Time Kench, so potential for blue team to take a fight where they just have the item advantage due to it being an ARAM. But this Twitch, it's a 3-item Twitch, and I don't think they can kill it. He just sits in stealth for half the fight, and you see the assassins being like, well, we just have to wait for him to come out of stealth, because if we use our damage, then we lose the fight.
Yep. Yeah, Huna has been playing very, very well. Not overextending, kiting. Well, I say not overextending. Has flashed into the backline multiple times when she thought it was, the optimal play. But overall, it's not an overextension. Much at the start of the game.
It's not an overextension if it works, right? It's just an extension.
That is true.
And here is the damage. There is the rat-a-tat-tat doing a disgusting amount of damage across the entirety of the blue team. Is already 2 have gone down. Make that a third, a double kill for Twitch. Huna trying to kite this one out and should be able to succeed, and oh god, doesn't even die, survives on a sliver of health. 30 health is what that rat survives on. I believe the red team might be taking game 3. My word, what a performance out of all of them, honestly.
Yeah, they will definitely be taking game 3. The Nexus will explode, and it was just overall a very clean performance coming out right from the get-go from the red team. The Shyvana engages, the ability for the Twitch to just stay in the backline, know when is the optimal time to go in. They didn't really make all that many mistakes, and overall they come out as the team on top.
For sure, it was super, super impressive there, and we do see the power of AD carries on the Howling Abyss. When your assassins can't get there, it's a very rough one. Not that the blue team played badly by any means. There was 1 or 2 stuffed engages, but it was a rough one from the loading screen. Just how it goes on the Abyss. But once again, we'll be back soon. I've been Everyday. With me has been my lovely partner, Spoods. It's been a great time so far. Been having heaps of fun.
Yeah, it has.
So make sure you stay tuned in, everyone. We'll be back in a bit. Welcome back, everybody. We are now in our final draft of the day. Well, quote-unquote draft. The champions have been locked. That's the important part. Of course, my name is Everyday. With me still is Spoods. And on the blue side, we have Warwick, Graves, Senna, Zaya, and Quinn. On the red side, Braum, Volibear, Master Yi, Talon, and Jinx. So we found where all the 80 carries were hiding.
Yeah, all hiding in the last match.
Because,
Final
they're all
matchup
here.
of the 80 carries come out in force. Well, obviously, the question now we have to ask is whether or not Jinx, which is obviously a late game hyper carry, is going to be able to hold the line against, well, 3 or 4 80 carries if you count Graves, which are arguably not as hyper carry-ish, but still can be very, very menacing in the late game. That's a question we're going to have to answer once we get into the game.
Absolutely, and I think Zaya would definitely make a case to be a bit of a hyper carry. She can output pretty ridiculous amounts of damage. It'll be interesting.
Yep.
For sure.
It will. Not arguing with you. I think Jinx. I think Zaya is a bit of hyper carry as well. I just think Jinx and well, let's throw Master E in there as well. I think both these champions, if played well, if Master E is not sufficiently kited, can definitely be more than enough to match the 480 carries, including the Zaya on the blue team.
Yeah, I actually think we might have a bit of an oversaturation of ADCs for the blue side. How do they stop this Master Yi? Of course, you have a Warwick who could land an ult, and if that hits, sure. But it's not exactly easy to alter Master Yi when you're going to have a Volibear, a Braum, and a Talon up in your face. So it's a very tricky scenario. It's a hard one to call here, I think.
Yep, definitely. I think the question that we're going to be answering with this game is having more 80 carries on your side better? Or is having a more balanced composition better for ARAMs? What do you think?
I'm leaning towards the more balanced approach, honestly. It's hard to call, but I just feel like there's too much here. There's not enough frontline to keep those 80 carries alive to actually deal their damage out. Like in the last game, that Twitch, it was very well individually played by the Twitch, but it was also very well played by the rest of the team to prevent the Twitch going down. And the few times where he was caught, he did just die. So there's every chance that this Master Yi and the Volibear will be able to be such massive threats and do enough damage that all Jinx has to do is clean up. But
keep in mind that...
sorry, no, go ahead.
Break? No, all right. So... What's my point, right? You know what? Take the break. We'll pick this up when we come back.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I've killed our analyst. We'll be back.
Kill the analysis.
You can try and figure it out, and once we're back in game, you can try and make the point again. Hey guys, just very sorry. There was a little bit of a technical issue. Unfortunately, the lobby was put on the wrong map, so we have to just quickly re-host the game. So we'll be throwing to
Welcome
a little bit
to
of a
Submarin's
break.
Rift, guys.
We are unfortunately on the Rift, which is not intentional. Very sorry. We'll be back in.
That's an honest mistake. Yep.
Yeah, we'll be back in like a minute or so. Hopefully, it's the same draft. If it's not, we'll let you know. Sorry, guys. See you in a bit. Welcome back, everybody. We are getting a new draft here because of the mistake. So let's have a look at this one. On the blue side, it is Quinn, Nami, the cursed Amumu, Corky, and Heimerdinger. On the red side, Rakan, Kha'Zix, Nidalee, Yorick, and Ezreal. Much more balanced this time, I think. No 4 AD carries. What do we think about these ones?
Well, you completely killed my point from before. Like, we're never ever going to see that point ever again.
Nope, so it's dead. It didn't
just
happen.
wanted to bring that up.
Gone. Reduced to atoms.
Gone. Right, anyway. Regarding these compositions, obviously, they're both more balanced. 180 carry per side, no hyper carry this time. Interestingly enough, this is the third draft in a row we're going to see Huna on an ADC. First, initially was on the Twitch, then we did see her on the Jinx. Now it's on the Ezreal. Has already shown to be able to play AD carries very, very well. Ezreal now on a safer AD carry should not have too much of an issue doing so. But if we take a look on the other team, we do have a few more ways, especially with the Amumu, to lock down the ADC.
Yeah, that Amumu seems very, very strong to me. That ult being able to get across most of the enemy team is going to make it very hard for Rakan or Kha'Zix to get his job done. Of course, we do have a Heimerdinger as well. Potentially could be a menace here on the bridge with those turrets. Very difficult to walk up, get much of anything done. Overall, I think both of these comps are very, very strong. It's hard to call this one.
Yeah, it's a very tough matchup to call. One thing I will point out, though, is this is a small sample size, so please excuse me. Amumu is currently the 5th highest win rate ARAM champion, sitting currently at 56%. No real question as to why. That ultimate being very high impact, especially in the small area that you do have to play in the Howling Abyss.
Yeah, you're pretty much always going to get 5-man ults on Howling Abyss. Particularly if you could play it very risky, go a bit more of an AP Amumu and just go for that massive AoE damage. I actually don't think that's a bad idea.
I'm not sure if it's a good idea though currently, because you don't have much of a tank on the blue side. So I think going for the tank option right now is actually the best call. You do have enough damage to back you up anyway. If you go in from the Quinn and the Corki, you do have the backup coming in from the Nami as well, and Heimerdinger is always there as a bit more of a defensive option. On the other side though, you have a bit of an interesting mix. You got Kha'Zix, Nidalee. Nidalee definitely you can try to go for those snipes. I'm not sure if Kha'Zix is going to be as effective as he normally is on the Rift. And Rakan, Yorick, we've already talked about Yorick, not really that useful here on the Howling Abyss. Rakan definitely a bit more of a supportive option. Doesn't really mesh that well with the Ezreal, but isn't a bad choice. But isn't a bad choice in of itself.
No, of course. Rakan going in with the Kha'Zix can definitely have potential here.
True.
We'll be back in just a little bit, and we'll talk more about these comps, and we'll see how they play out. Thanks everyone for joining us. We'll be back in no time at all. I'm excited for this last game. I think it's going to be great.
It'll be a banger.
Welcome back, everybody. For the final game here, we are finally on the abyss to see if which team will take it out and who will be the champions in the end. Of course, it is individually scored. I just want to point out, I love the new icons to give you the trail. Just putting it out there.
Mm-hmm.
Favorite?
All right. Thank you, Riot.
I think it's great. Riot says trans pride. It's good.
Yeah, it's better than some ways different companies try to get engaged with the community.
Yeah, like when. Nintendo...
But anyway.
Yeah. Anyway, let's just move straight on. Let's power on.
Oh, right on. Right. Okay. Ezreal with Conqueror.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That's interesting.
No, that makes sense. That's pretty standard.
Makes sense. Oh right, sorry, they removed the Keystone ages ago, and for some reason I forgot
Klepto.
about it. So
Yeah, Klepto hasn't been in the game for a long time, and
yep,
I have not missed
which
it
is a
even
mental
once.
boom.
I hated that Keystone.
Right.
All of its use. So I'm very glad that it's gone. Klepto
Right, I think we just the short break has sort of just made our minds wander. It's
a
not
little
exactly
bit, but there's
a
nothing
little bit.
happening.
Yeah,
Yet.
just gotta get right back into it.
Yeah,
You know?
there's nothing happening yet, as it is just going to be the early ARAM farming fest. And they're just ping-ponging waves back and forth, waiting for someone to do something. And the thing is, neither team has the impetus to do anything.
Yeah, it looks like they're all just sort of playing safe. And Italy has been going for some spears. You can see that she's already being able to chunk down different blue team champions for quite a bit.
Ooh, and there's the engage. Rakan flying forward, but just hops straight back out. A bit of damage
you're
there.
Definitely ahead of me a bit. Let me just speed up.
This time
I got it. Cool.
Yep. Stuff, you got this. So,
right.
The other thing to note here is the red team's got a lot of healing. With a Nidalee, and I mean, a Rakan doesn't heal very much, but he does heal. And Yorick as well, with those shovel smacks, will heal himself back up. It's very hard to poke them out.
Yep. Oh, I'm buffering again. Oh boy.
Oh boy. As we do have another little engage by the Rakan, but it is just hopping in and out. He can just do that with pretty much impunity. Just wait a sec, and oh, he's gone over to try and shield the Yorick. Takes a whole lot of damage for it, goes down to 30 HP, but the first blood has been claimed, as has the second. Reverie and Rogues only will be going to the Death Chamber. As it is a good start here for the red side, and they have early priority.
I would like to point out I am now 10 seconds ahead of you. I've seen that first blood ages ago. They're now pushing
may want to pause.
The turret.
Yeah, I have to pause
right
if
now.
If you pause at 3:10.
I'm on 3:02.
Okay. Oh, okay. Pause at 3:10. I'll tell you when I get. Sorry about this, everyone. This is what we have to do.
It's a bit of a bootleg setup.
So I'm at 10.
I'm 3:10 right now. Yeah.
I'm also at 10. We're synced.
Right. Now we're synced. Cool.
Cool. As just those first two kills, no real big result out of that. They weren't able to get any tower damage, really. It is just an early injection of gold. But of course, they can't spend that gold.
Yeah, getting it on the Kazakhs though, because if the Kazakhs doesn't really get ahead early on, it's just going to be a very, very useless cockroach. So giving him the kill early on could actually bode pretty well if they are able to continue this snowball and get the Kazakhs relatively ahead of the blue team.
Yeah, I think that's very, very true. If that Kazakhs is ahead, he is an absolute menace, but because very correct from behind. That's just a bit of a sad bug.
Yeah, especially now that because you're playing ARAM, it's very, very difficult for you to get the isolation damage. So you need as much of an advantage as
Here's the engage though. The Amumu ult has landed into the Nami wave. This is a lot of damage being dealt by the blue team. Quinn has already picked up one kill. Can they find this Rakan? I don't think so. He gets away. So it's only one kill there. Looked like it could have been a lot more. The red team managing to disengage very, very well.
Yeah, absolutely. But now we do have low health bars on the red side. Blue team that can now just continue pushing in towards that tier 1 turret, get some damage down. There's not much that red can really do without losing more health and in turn losing their lives, basically.
Yeah.
If they try to stop the push coming in from blue.
Yeah, for sure. But of course, Yorick does have his Maiden of the Mist out, so he is a very big 1v1 threat at the moment. You can't dive in onto him. He will dig a grave for you. Another little suspension. Build the suspense of the game, and here we are. Rakan is just unable to get up to a decent health total at the moment. It's just a constant amount of damage being thrown. It's become very, very low, in fact.
Yeah, and props over to blue, because that's exactly what they need to do. If you take a look at the entirety of the red roster, aside from Kazakhs jumping in, Rakan is the only main engage that is effective if they want to look for a fight. And when Rakan is always this low, there is just simply no threat of such an engage coming in from red and blue. They're just pretty happy just sitting back and farming right now.
It's true. And I know all about a very upset Rakan. Can't hear him
Oh,
in
you
the
can
background.
hear him right now.
Oh, you can hear him. It is picking up.
I
There
can
you go.
hear him, yeah.
There you go. That is my bird
He is
named
one
Rakan.
loud boy.
He's very upset because he's in his timeout cage.
Aw.
Let's hope that the Rakan on the Rift isn't going to be in his timeout cage.
Haha.
Uh,
Haha.
See if he can get
Well.
some free flight.
Does have some decent health now, though.
Yeah, he's gotten the back up a little bit. There was a health relic and the Nidalee heals, as well as some of his own healing from the Q, but that is pretty insignificant.
It's pretty minimal right now, to say the least. He's gonna step up. Oh, got himself the heal. Woohoo! He was like 10 health.
Oh, and there is another engage. A lot of damage in the True Shot Barrage.
Oh, nice.
We'll make sure that the Corki goes down. Kha'Zix dives forward, picks up another one, and Amumu tries to go for the turn, but this is Kha'Zix ripping them up. Hashijo doing so much damage, and this is going to be an absolute wipeout as everyone on the Rift is dying. It's going to come down to a 9-kill team fight, as only Mr. Yorick will live. Wow.
Wow, absolutely. Excusing that last spaghetti, wet noodle fight between the Yorick and the Amumu, everybody else did quite a bit of work, literally on the red team, definitely stepping in and cleaning up with one spear and jumping in under the turret to clean up. 2 kills, allowing for red team to basically win that fight.
Yeah, it was, I mean, they only barely won it. It was a 5-for-4. So it's a rough one. That was very explosive. If that is how the fights are going to work, this is going to be a very, very hard game to call.
It is. It's already a very hard game to call at the moment. We do have to look at where the kills are going, though. Right now, you can see that most of the kills on red team are, in fact, on the Kha'Zix, which once again is a rather good thing in my opinion. Meanwhile, on the blue team, it's actually a bit more spread out. Unfortunately, 2 of those kills are currently on the Amumu, which right now should be going tank. So he's not really going to be making full use of the gold that he's getting, aside from being a little harder to kill.
Well,
which I think is a little unfortunate.
He is going a little bit of AP, as he has picked up the Rod of Ages. Of course, that does have some tank stats on it, but it is definitely not something like a Sunfire Cape. So the Amumu has damage in mind. And looks like as well, Ezreal going AP, as that is the makings of a Ludens.
It does look like that right now with stacking up the mana immune. It's not going to be all that effective until the mirror mana comes through, building up a bit of a hybrid sort of build right here. Not the worst thing in the world, I believe. If we did briefly swap over to gold right now, and with the 42 CS that the Ezreal currently has, is now sitting on, I want to call it about 5,700 gold, which is actually the highest amongst everybody in the game. So even though not coming in with all the stats, I think if she is able to continue.
As the Nidalee Spear has landed, and Mr. Heimerdinger is going to the grave. Now, I don't play enough ARAM. What is that second item in Quinn's inventory?
That is is a starting item. It's not going to have too much of an impact. I believe it helps with attack damage and I want to say cooldown reduction. I don't play much ARAM either, so I'm
okay. Well, that makes sense for Quinn. AD and cooldown reduction is pretty much what she wants. Now, this Quinn it's not going to be an easy life for her. It is an ADC, sort of, but very short wave. And and here's the huge Rakan ult, hitting that charm onto 3. So far, it's a 1-for-1. The Amumu ult was used pretty much just to buy space. This is a very, very scrappy fight, but with the health bars being very low on the red side. Oh no, never mind. I tell a lie as the Ezreal diving back in, trying to do as much as possible. Can they get onto this Heimerdinger? Not quite. 3-for-3.
That Rakan ult and the Ezreal ult and the Nidalee Spear, I think it just caught them off guard. One, I believe, I'm not sure who died first, but basically it was on 75% health. Got hit by the Rakan ultimate, got hit by the Ezreal ultimate, then got hit by the Nidalee Spear. Just got completely chunked, 75% health to 0 in a matter of moments. Really helped turn that fight into a 4v5 and resulted in a favorable outcome for red team.
Absolutely, but it was also fantastic play there by Huna, really ducking and diving around the fight on the Ezreal, smashing those Mystic shots in, dealing a really disgusting amount of damage. Of course.
Huna is a great AD carry player.
Yeah, she absolutely
Let's just call it now.
She has been fantastic on the ADCs, and is very fortunate for her team that she keeps rolling them. I mean, you can say it's a bit of luck, but hey, we're playing ARAMs. There's definitely luck as a factor. And you've got to execute when you've got them, and she absolutely has. So, does need to die at some point, though. With a lot of farm and a couple of kills, she does want to die.
Yep, definitely. We are now resorting to a bit of a lull state. I think we haven't this game hasn't been as action-packed as the previous few. We're currently 11 minutes into the game. We haven't seen all that many major fights going through. I think both teams are currently just happy with the wave clear. But right now, if we continue with this wave clear, I think the advantage will begin to stack in favor of the red team, especially with the Ezreal Mirror Mana now fully charged up.
Yeah,
is now in a much better state to be looking for these fights.
Absolutely, and there is the engage. The snowball landed, the Amumu ult followed. There's a Nami wave, but is the damage going to be enough? The True Shot Barrage doing a lot. The backline has not died here for the red team. Some of their front line has. Can they get something on the back of this, or will it just be a 2-for-0? I think it will be. Oops, sorry, someone's at my door. I'll be right back.
Alright, have fun with that. I guess I'm solo casting for now. Please come back soon. Nidalee Spear is going to miss on the Heimerdinger. They actually put down the turret, but it's going to be taken out. So that is one cooldown that is not going to be available for the blue side for the next few seconds at least. Still in a bit of a lull state. You do see that we have a few low health bars on the side of blue, not exactly in the best of states to be looking for a fight. Red looking like they don't really want to engage, and I guess that's fair. You have the Ezreal, which is more than happy to just chill and dish out damage from afar. Nobody else to really facilitate any sort of engage. But you can see on the flank right now, Rakan is looking for something. We'll just back away for now as blue team continue to clear the wave.
Sorry about that. My neighbor needed help with something. Have I missed anything important?
No, we didn't really have any fights. I think we all what we saw was red team just fully respawning and returning to what they were doing before. But as soon as you come back,
well, that was
it.
Very much rogue only saying, "Ooh, I have enough gold for an item. Be right back, guys." And going in, and again, this is something that is, as long as it's communicated very well, is a good thing to do. And that very clearly was communicated. No one from the blue team was trying to follow up. Was just the Corki going in. And the Heimerdinger turret being used to make sure there's no damage onto that tower. Ooh, but
yeah, it was a Rakan. What is this?
Very bold there. Not sure what the purpose was, but they have trapped Reverie in the cage, but here comes the package! And the blue team is doing so much damage. Kha'Zix's doing absolutely everything she can, but the blue team just have the health bars, and it's only the Nidalee left alive. What a package!
What a package. I feel like every time we praise a player, they end up messing up in the next fight. Not sure why the Ezreal thought it would be a good idea to Arcane Shift into the Amumu ult, but that's what happened. Blue team won the fight off the back of that. I think it would have been a different outcome if Ezreal did not do that, but blue team, they're going to pick up the tier 1 turret.
That they are. They will push in and get a little bit of damage to the tier 2. Surprised they're not going for resets. Though, of course, we don't know exactly their gold totals. Probably just not quite ready.
Yeah.
Now, the Kha'Zix has 2 completed lethality items plus a Dirk. Do we think he's ahead of the pace enough to still be a threat, or is he already beginning to fall off?
I think at this moment, he still has enough of a threat that you have to respect it. It's not going to be enough to change the outcome of a major fight, but definitely can, assist him in sort of cleaning up the back of those fights. It's not going to be doing all that much damage to sway the outcome of it, but if they're winning, he can definitely do some. He can definitely help. How do I put this? Enforce
tip the scales.
Enforce the advantage.
Yeah, he can. I think you're right. He's not going to be the main factor that tips it over to the red side, but he can definitely put a little bit of a foot on the scales to make it more likely to fall their way. He has, of course, also evolved the wings. Actually, very interesting evolution, but it also makes sense. He hasn't evolved the claws, something on Summoner's Rift that we would always see. He's actually gone wings and spike racks to give him a bit more poke and also the ability to jump out after doing his initial burst of damage and hopefully getting a kill.
Or continuing to jump in and clean up the back of that fight like we were talking about before.
Yep.
But yeah, right now until that fight happens, he's honestly just resigned to poke duty with the spikes in the bushes. Doing some respectable chip damage, especially with the low cooldowns, but Rakan's going in once again.
Yep, did get exhausted up and got out. Rakan, very sneaky. Oh, the big ult! That's a free kill onto the Quinn. Can they get the second one onto the Amumu? No, they can't quite. The Nami wave was very good. But it's a free kill here. This Quinn, it's been a rough one for her. Hasn't really gotten much done.
Yeah, Quinn's an AD carry, but it's more of a assassin AD carry. Not really gonna do all that well in a front-to-back team fight, especially against the likes of.
Oh, Nidalee flying forward! Sorry to cut you off, but we had to shout that one out as the absolute massive dive forward. Rakan goes down in response, but so does the tower, and the red team resurging, coming forward, doing a lot of damage. But here comes Quinn. Nope, doesn't go for it. Fair enough. No need to go for the unsafe play.
I think could have gone for that. The health bars were low enough that and the Quinn could probably have burst someone down. Not sure if Nidalee would have been that target, but yeah, just playing safe for now.
Yeah, for sure, which makes a lot of sense. You get the worst case scenario there is you kill someone off, which just gives them a reset, and then you die, even though you just died. It's not great.
That is fair. You did point out the fact that I believe. Oh wait, no. I'm thinking of something else. My bad.
Okay.
Thoughts are all over the place at the moment. Not sure what's going on.
It's all right, man. We're getting our mind blown by how action-packed these ARAMs have been and how much fun they've been. We can't handle it.
So many points. Can't organize them in my head. That's what's going on.
Yeah. Exactly. It's just there's too much to talk about and not enough time. Because, I mean, look, normally someone casting with me struggles enough to get in, but there's that many team fights that it's even harder. So you're doing well.
All right.
But it has come to a bit more of a lull. We're back to ping-ponging waves. Oh, and as I say it, there's an engage. Rakan trying to get out. The Corki package is used. That's very, very deep. Can he get away? No, he will get taken down by Karzik, but that should be the only casualty for the blue team, as they are absolutely ripping this fight to shreds. Huma, you can kite all you want, but there's not that much you can do about this Quinn doing a 500 damage crit. Crit.
Right.
And taking the double. This will be the inhib, and the blue team with an absolutely massive win.
Yep. One issue that we failed to point out in Champion Select is I believe they did not have enough tanky stats on the side of Red, as opposed to a Mumu, which, like we said, is gonna build tank. Is gonna be a big frontliner when it comes to these late game team fights, and we're really seeing the difference count right now as the left fight's gonna go on.
Yeah, this is just a bit more of a clean-up fight. They got the inhib, they got a Nexus Tower. Now the blue team is just resetting. Heimerdinger will survive, but he'll be one of the only ones. But there's no
exactly
sure
if not sure if surviving here for the Heimerdinger is the best play. Yeah, like the point I was trying to bring across right there was in these upcoming fights, it's really difficult for Red Team to play around the Amumu, because Amumu has been doing so very well in being a disruptor for the blue team. And if the Amumu is going to continue doing so, it's just going to be so much more difficult for Red to have an appropriate answer. And so far, we haven't seen them be able to do so.
Absolutely, and we did finally see the Quinn shine. Once the health bars are low, Quinn can go forward and just do enough to finish things off. Amumu is in the middle of the enemy team. The blue side do not want to let up for even a moment. And yeah, as you said, he's just too tanky. He's just walking at them.
Damage.
He's taking a lot of damage, but it doesn't matter. He just sponges it up like absolutely no one's business. And it's a 3-for-2 in the favor of the blue side. Valor has been called in, not dealing any damage, just getting the speed. As the arcane shift is pretty good.
I want to check the damage stats, like damage taken and self-mitigated damage, at the end of the game, because it's a Mumu, is gonna be basically like 50% of his team.
Yep.
He's just menacingly walking at red team, and red team simply do not have an answer, especially with the Ezreal, which really doesn't do very
He's
well
just
against
walking
tanks.
at us. Menacingly! That's
And I take
basically
back
the
what I
story
said.
of this game.
Yeah, I take back what I said about the Quinn. Actually doing very, very well now that we have approached Sora. The mid-game state is definitely going to be very good against the squishier members of the red team. Honestly, I thought Nidalee and Yorick would be much more tankier than they currently are showing to be. And that just means that the assassin Quinn is much more has a much more easier time going in onto the red team, dealing a ton of damage.
For sure. These Heimerdinger towers, as well as the grenade and rockets in the fights, are doing a great amount of zoning as well. It's really hard for the red team to navigate these fights. We see these massive Rakan ults to start us off.
Rakan has been a little bit too overeager in my opinion.
A little bit.
Jumping in and not communicating the intentions to the rest of the team when she's going in. And I think that's just a little unfortunate, because if they were able to coordinate these engages much better earlier on in the game, rather, I think they would have found much more favorable outcomes in the early fights, which would have been, which would have made it easier for them to hold the line right now.
For sure, but the point I was more getting at is that these Rakan ults have been hitting multiple members of the blue team, but they can't navigate around all of the spread damage that the blue team puts out. So the Rakan ult just kind of wears off. And part of that is that they're not all pulling the trigger at the same time. Oh, Corki goes in, leaves that trail. There's the wave. A lot of damage. The Amumu ult was great as well. Can the red team fight back, or will we be seeing the end of the red team? I think we will, and I think this might be our final victors today. The blue side. I think that's the first one we've had where the blue team wins.
Yep.
And they will take our final game.
The best part about this is that the only strategy that they had to employ was a Mumu walking at the enemy. That is the biggest factor in their win right now. No amount of outplay or whatever that red team could throw at blue team could stop the menacing walking Amumu. And now we know why Amumu is the 4th or 5th highest win rate champion.
Absolutely. He walked at them and they were right to be worried about him doing it. That was a really fun day of games. I love this. These ARAMs are so much fun.
Thoughts got a bit messed up in the final game, but overall pretty happy with what we've seen so far. If you were to compare this to the Singaporean sort of level of play, it's not going to be a fair comparison, but what do you think?
I mean, I honestly think the level of play was pretty similar.
Right.
I think we had some very, very good players. I think we had some players that made some mistakes, but you never know if they're playing a champion that they've never really played before. Yeah. I don't think it's fair to analyze it too closely. I think it was great. I had a lot of fun, and that's the important part. I think everyone involved had fun. Now, of course, we would like to thank Dreamcore, Super Solid, and Yahoo for sponsoring us today. That's very, very appreciated. You've seen their ads running. Definitely go check out all of their products. They're really good. But other than that, I think we are done for today.
Yes, we will be back next week, same time? I believe, no, 1 hour earlier.
Okay.
Was it for Thailand? I think, yeah. But basically next week, Saturday, stay tuned, stay with FSL.
Absolutely. And thanks again to FSL for having me and Spoods. We love being here. We'll be back next week. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for tuning in.